I love Kempire. Kempire is usually pretty damn accurate with everything he says about celebrity gossip. This video is talking about how Lizzo broke her silence amid new allegations from from I can't see from here. I'm sorry. From filmmaker plus accuser caught in a lie. Now, I'm going to read a little bit about the lawsuit. This is from the NewYorkTimes.com. Former tour dancers accuse Lizzo of harassment and hostile work environment in a lawsuit. In a lawsuit filed Tuesday, three dancers claim that touring with the Grammy winner meant working in an overtly sexual atmosphere that subjected them to harassment. Defendants in the lawsuit include Lizzo, her production company, Big Girl Big Touring Inc., and Shirlene Quigley, the tour's dance captain, Amy Harris, Invasion, via Associated Press. This was written by Lauren McCarthy and published yesterday, August 2nd, 2023. Okay, update. Lizzo has responded to the lawsuit, calling its claims as unbelievable as they sound. Three of Lizzo's former dancers filed a lawsuit against her on Tuesday in Los Angeles Superior Court, accusing the Grammy-winning singer and the captain of her dance team of creating a hostile work environment while performing concerts on her special tour this year. The lawsuit is a copy the lawsuit, a copy of which was provided to the New York Times by the plaintiff's law firm, said the dancers had been exposed to an overtly sexual atmosphere that permeated their workplace, which includes outings where nudity and sexuality were a focal point. It said the lawsuit was first reported by NBC. The defendants include Lizzo, using her full name, Melissa Jefferson, instead of her stage name, her production company, Big Girl Touring Inc., and Shirlene Quigley, the tour's dance captain. It does not specify whether the singer was aware of the plaintiff's allegations linked to Ms. Quigley. The suit alleges that Lizzo was involved in several episodes that lawyers for the three dancers said amounted to sexual harassment and weight shaming, among other allegations. Ms. Quigley was also accused of making sexually explicit comments to dancers, and the lawsuit accuses her of engaging in religious harassment. Ms. Quigley made it her mission to preach Christianity to the dancers, the lawsuit says, and appeared to be fixated on one plaintiff's virginity. On one occasion, while at a nightclub in Amsterdam, the lawsuit says Lizzo began inviting employees to touch nude performers and handle dildos and bananas used in their performances. Out of fear of retaliation, a dancer eventually acquiesced to touching the breast of a nude female performer, despite repeatedly expressing no interest in doing so, the suit says. Representatives for Lizzo and her production company did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Tuesday. Dancers on Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls reality show last year. Ariana Davis, bottom right, is one of the plaintiffs in the lawsuit. Michelle Grosso for the New York Times. Two of the plaintiffs, Ariana Davis and Crystal Williams, began performing with Lizzo after competing on her reality television show on Amazon Prime, Watch Out for the Big Girls, in 2021. Okay. The show was an opportunity to give plus-size dancers representation, Lizzo said at the time. Ms. Davis and Ms. Williams were fired in spring of 2023, the lawsuit says. Separately, a third plaintiff, Noel Rodriguez, was hired in May 2021 to perform in Lizzo's Rumors music video and remained on as part of her dance team. According to the lawsuit, Ms. Rodriguez resigned shortly after Ms. Davis and Ms. Williams had been fired. Some of the allegations seem to take aim at Lizzo's reputation for champion body positivity and inclusivity. The stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly. A lawyer for the plaintiffs, Ron Zambrano, said in a statement on Tuesday. Privately, he said, Lizzo weight shames her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not only illegal, but absolutely demoralizing. Some of Lizzo's statements to the dancers gave Ms. Davis, who was diagnosed with a binge eating disorder, the impression that she had to explain her weight gain and disclose intimate personal details about her life in order to keep her job, the suit says. Since her breakout hit Truth Hurts dominated the charts in 2019, Lizzo has popularized feel-good music and self-love and has celebrated diversity in all forms by churning out empowerment anthems including a size-inclusive shapewear line and racking up millions of views on social media. She won this year's Grammy for Record of the Year for About Damn Time. Diana Reddy, an assistant professor at the law school at the University of California, Berkeley, said that allegations that fall outside legally protected categories could undermine Lizzo's body positive message and could, and this is in quotation marks, could certainly encourage a settlement. Providing a hostile work environment in the unconventional entertainment industry is difficult, she said. So the plaintiff's lawyers could be hoping for a settlement. Employment discrimination plaintiffs don't fare particularly well in court, Mrs. Reddy said. And that's it. I find it interesting. Two of them, two of the plaintiffs, were winners on Lizzo's competition reality show for dancing. One of those women you're going to see in the Kempire video, and she's going to add on to her accomplishments that she's a singer as well and she wants to be like Lizzo. That to me is a big red flag. Big red flag. I'm not saying Lizzo is guilty or not guilty. Don't know, wasn't there. Don't think I've heard her music. I have seen her. Now, while she's not an ugly woman, I don't care when anyone says she's not an ugly woman. She is a disgusting pig, in my opinion, for the things she does. She walked around a stadium, I think it was a basketball game, where there was no back to her dress and she was wearing a thong. I don't care if you're black, white, skinny, fat, whatever. I don't care. That's disgusting. Then she was in a restaurant. I don't remember the name of the restaurant. I do know it was fast food. Now, the counter looked like any counter, McDonald's, Burger King, I don't know. Again, she was wearing a thong and she rubbed her ass against the counter. Not on accident, she was twerking on the counter and touching it with her butt. People's food has to go there, people's hands. Sometimes, and I know we try to stop them, but it can happen. Little kids will put their mouths there on the edge of the counter. It shouldn't happen. And you can say all you want, well, parents should be watching their kids. There is no way to watch your kids every single solitary second. How fast kids get into things when you literally turn your head for 2 or 3 seconds. So that can happen. In that way, to me, she's a pig. Not because she's fat, not because she's black. I've also seen videos where she's not wearing any makeup. She is very pretty, my opinion. But I do think it's interesting that two of them, of the plaintiffs, worked on her reality show. Now, the whole thing about here, hold a dildo, hold a banana, hold this, hold that could be joking around, even though it's sexual harassment. Most concerts today are sexual harassment. Like when Shakira and J-Lo did the halftime show at the Super Bowl. The next day, all I heard on the news, mothers were gasping, some fathers too. This is Shakira and J-Lo. What the fuck did you think they were gonna do? What did you think? Okay, but that could be just joking around. Lizzo does have a big mouth, and she probably did say some things she shouldn't have. Everyone is guilty of saying things they shouldn't have, but they shouldn't get canceled or killed or whatever because they said something stupid. I also don't understand why Mrs. Quigley, the dance captain, was so interested in one of the dancers' virginity. If they're still a virgin, they're still a virgin. Whatever. It's bad out there with the diseases. I don't care if people say, oh, you don't hear about AIDS anymore. Yeah, I really don't hear about, let's say, C-19. But that doesn't mean it's not still out there. Um, and the taking them to strip clubs, one, they didn't have to accept the invitation. Two, I think if she didn't invite them, they would have been bitching that they were singled out and weren't invited or left out or whatever. Do I think they should have gone to a strip club? No. It would never occur to me to ask someone and say, let's go to a strip club. But she did. Now you're on tour with her, the two main plaintiffs, the whole year. You mean to tell me in that whole year you didn't spend enough time with her to know what she was like? Oh, you were encouraged to touch somebody's boob when you didn't want to. You could have pulled out your phone, pretend to make a phone call, or check something and hit record, and get them on tape pressuring you to touch a woman's boob. And who was this woman? Will she be joining the lawsuit because people were touching her boobs at Lizzo's urging? Like I said, I don't like Lizzo. I don't not like her. I do think she's very pretty, but I also think she's quite piggy. But this lawsuit, just what I've heard so far, only based on what I've heard so far. To me, it's not a big deal, big enough to go to court over. And Noel Rodriguez quit 2 weeks after the other two. Maybe she was contacted by the other two saying, look, we're putting a lawsuit together. Can you testify for us what you saw, what went on? And then she started talking to him saying, well, I was harassed too, and then joined the lawsuit. I don't know. But I'm not so sure we're hearing everything. Even one lawyer said something about there'll probably be a settlement to keep everything quiet. Might be because this is I don't think it's criminal because Lizzo was not arrested, wasn't even approached by police. But I do think it's a civil matter, civil court. You don't need hardcore evidence to win your case in a civil court. It's about money. And you have to make their limits, their checkpoints, which compared to a criminal trial, it's fairly easy to do. Now, I'm not saying it's easy at all. I'm saying compared to a murder trial, trying to defend someone with evidence similar to this. This evidence, saying how other people are going to testify and whatever, that's hearsay. That's what they heard. It's not what was done to them. And then it depends where the lawsuit is happening. Because even with civil courts in different states have different rules and regulations. Not many. Majority is basically the same all over. But it's those other little things that could get you. Anyway, this is Ken Pyer, and let's listen to his video. And this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm giving my opinions and a couple of little facts that I know are facts, like the thing about the laws. They can vary from state to state depending on where the lawsuit was filed. And yeah, I'm going to be reacting to it. Okay, YouTube. Here we go.
Breaking her silence in her first statement since the lawsuit that was filed against her and her team with weight shaming allegations, racial bias, and more. Not only that,
Also, the weight shaming. It's like, well, black people can't be racist. Yes, they can. And fat people can make fun of other fat people. Whether they're bigger than them, smaller than them, it can still be said. Okay? It can still be said. And everybody takes everything as complete and total harassment that's going to cause a fight, that's going to cause this, that's going to cause that. I was having fights with someone on YouTube recently. I told her off one last time, and then I gave her nothing, and I'm still going to continue to give her nothing. It's done. I don't want to do this anymore. The fight we were having, I won. But I don't know if Lizzo can win this because in civil court, like I said, it's a lot less the requirements and whatever. It's a lot less to reach up to. Did she make fun of them their weight? It's possible because the one I was having a fight with calls me Jabba the Hutt, pig, hog, whatever because I'm big. She's big too. She's nowhere near where I am. But that's the only real thing she's getting me on now. But she's big as well. It can happen. So don't just think because Lizzo's fat, she didn't say something. She could have. And this whole racial stuff, my time in a particular sector of YouTube that I'm in, the black people in it, male and female, use the N word as a term of endearment and a weapon. So Lizzo could have said something thinking like yo my N, how you doing? Or N, shut the fuck up. Just that might be her normal way of talking when she's not in a professional atmosphere. I'm just saying it's possible. Let's continue.
With Lizzo. Lizzo has enlisted famed celebrity attorney Marty Singer for her defense. And apparently, one of the accusers named in this lawsuit may have contradicted herself in a video that was recorded after these alleged allegations. Welcome back to the Campfire Channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload.
You really should sub up to him. He is really, really very good.
So there's been a lot of mixed reactions in regards to what this lawsuit has said about Lizzo. If you missed any of our coverage in regards to some of the details, and you can Google schmoogle the actual court documents and what these three dancers are alleging against Lizzo. Two of the dancers in this lawsuit, with their attorney, did multiple interviews talking about what they experienced while working with Lizzo. Well, early this morning, Lizzo broke her silence on her social media and posted this statement. So let's examine what Lizzo says in the statement because.
And I'm going to play it in a minute. I'm not so sure it was wise of Lizzo to say anything yet. I would hope that if she did, she got like I don't know. There are always legal people around to help stars with their words and when they're going to comment on something and when they shouldn't comment on something and whatnot. I just hope Lizzo's people were on the ball when she did this.
Because a lot of you had mixed reactions to what she said. So she says this in a no caption post. These last few days have been gut wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually, I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. She continues and she says, as an artist, I have always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. So here she's addressing some of what was said in regards to some of the rehearsals being gut wrenching. Some people were fired because they weren't up to par. So she's addressing that here. She says, with passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team.
Okay, so that's like I said, I'm not defending her, but that's like I was saying. She might have a certain way of talking, and everyone is super sensitive today. But again, I'm not so sure she should have spoken yet. And I'm talking about just for legal reasons. I don't know if this was the right time.
I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people and the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. So, just to kind of backtrack on some of what she said in here. So, as I just read, she says that I'm not the villain that people and the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not.
And I know with me, I don't want people to be overly sexual around me. I don't. I was told once I was homophobic because I didn't want to see two gay guys making out. Well, I don't like seeing heterosexual couples make out either. Even in movies, I don't like it. To me, that's private. I remember what I felt whenever me and my husband would make out. Those feelings were for him, because him, about him, not for the world. But also, people are hypocrites. They will come out and be sexually flamboyant all they want, and somebody else does it, and they're like, well, who does she think she is? But I do think she should have a level of professionalism with them, even in the off times. But then again, I also believe there are some people who are just looking for a lawsuit to make a quick buck. One of the women you're going to see in this video, she said she wanted to be like Lizzo. Well, what is one of the great ways to become like someone? or the next someone, you get rid of the original. This might be what they're trying to do. I don't know. I don't know if she's 100% guilty of everything she did, said, and more. I also don't know if she's 100% innocent. But time will tell.
I mean, you could read this in a couple of different ways. If any of what was said in this lawsuit in regards to what happened in Amsterdam at this club, and this is where the business of music and entertainment gets blurred between personal and professional. You can have your sexuality, you can have your openness, Lizzo, but that doesn't mean when you guys are not working and you're in a club that if what they're describing, if it is true, that's not okay. You can be open with your sexuality, but as someone's employer, there are lines. There are lines.
There are lines on and off work. You go home after work and you're harassing someone you work with, that can affect your job and affect the job itself, the business. It can happen.
There are lines. I just tweeted this that a lot of these celebrities invest in I need to have this stylist or this house or this type of car. And they don't really think about the team that they are building. Yes, you need your manager, you need your accountant, you need your style, you need those things. But you also forget that critical part, that HR department, that a lot of these entities, because Lizzo is now an entity, she is a brand. It's not just
And also, Lizzo has gotten away with a lot of her piggy bullshit. So she may be at the point right now where she feels she can do no wrong. No wrong at all. Everything she does is 100% right. If she wants to rub her bare ass on somebody, anybody, even someone who works for her, with her, she should have the right to do that. That's not how it works. Again, I'm not saying that happened. I'm just discussing, and yeah, I don't know. Am I surprised at these allegations? No, not at all. I just don't know whether or not they're 100% true. And considering they're taking her to court, that means it was malicious, harassment. It's malicious. You meant to do it. I don't know if that's the case. A lot of people who are very bold and boisterous, and they'll do something, and it's like there are people who like to really make an entrance into a room. They might kick the doors open and say, "Honey, I'm home." Well, there might have been somebody there with heart problems, and that kicking the door open scares the crap out of them and they die. All your actions have consequences, whether you're completely at fault or not. Your actions have consequences, like a ripple in the water. You drop a rock into the water doesn't stay still. It can calm down, but still, once that rock hits the water, you know,
just Lizzo, she has a team. And I believe this is the same issue. We were just talking about this with Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen had an HR department, but so often these HR departments are scared of the employer that employs them.
also, they might be scared of the star themselves, because if the star themselves they see has power and influence, They may not want to mess with them. It's possible.
This is why a lot of HR departments and a lot of different companies are separate entities. They're not in the same building. They're not the same. They're a separate company. That's what people really should be investing in, because your HR department probably be like, yeah, yeah, how about you just go with your friends and not with the people that you employ?
Exactly. You know, there's a school in Virginia. I don't remember when this was. It was, I forget the guy's name, but he's a rapper. He's on something called Migo, and he's on YouTube where he likes people to give him three or four words, just random words, and this guy will just come out with a song. And you're shocked at how good he is and how complete it is. And he did it with your three or four random words. But there was one girl, I don't remember her name, but she was wearing a Harvard Law t-shirt or sweatshirt. And she said that school officials or teachers were looking at some of the kids' Facebooks and other social medias, and there were kids suspended and kicked out of school for the content on their social media. One kid was kicked out because of dancing on a TikTok video. Now, this girl said she's from Virginia, but I mean, come on. That girl is a private citizen. Lizzo is not. Everybody's on her social medias. She's a celebrity. She has to be careful what she does. No matter how much she thinks she's a normal person, she's not anymore. It's like there's an ex basketball player, Kwame Brown. He feels like, well, I'm not a basketball player anymore, so I'm not a celebrity. In some places and to some people, you will forever be a celebrity. You know, he may not want that, but that's just how the world works. Lizzo's another one. She may feel like spending a year with these people on tour, they were like family. And she could just completely be herself. If she wanted to walk around in front of them naked, I'm not saying she did it. I'm just saying because of the whole year she was with them, she might feel comfortable enough to do that. She might feel comfortable to fart in front of them. But she is still a celebrity and she will always have a target on her back. She has to be careful, and maybe she feels like because of all the shit she got away with before, nasty, disgusting shit, anything she does is fine and she's untouchable. I'm not saying this is what's going on. I'm saying it could be.
Because I see a lot of mixed reactions on social media about this. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, I can't believe that Lizzo would do something like this." And then I also see, based off what people saw in these interviews with the accusers, there's just like, it sounds like you guys could have chosen not to go. It seems as if you guys were not doing the work that you were supposed to be doing.
Exactly. They could have said, you know what? No, I'd rather stay in practice. They went to hang out with a celebrity. And it's quite possible she was paying for everything. Because I don't care if you're a celebrity. If you grew up big, you want friends. And Lizzo may still be at that age or at that point in her life where she still feels like she has to pay people to keep them around her, to keep them being her friends. She may say, no, that's not it. But people have done a lot of shit that, just to keep friendships going, relationships going. You know, I think she just felt so comfortable with everyone, and given the rehearsals for the shows and what's contained in the shows that you're rehearsing for, she felt like a strip club was an okay place to go to take everyone to. I didn't hear it say in the lawsuit or whatever. I haven't heard anything about these dancers saying that they said no, and she said, I'll fire you if you don't. So they chose to go. They wanted to go. They wanted to have fun. Maybe the paparazzi would be there. One of the girls want to be like Lizzo, a singer, a dancer, blah, 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 blah. If she's like your idol, you want to go hang out with her. You're still a fan. But again, I don't know if Lizzo did everything they're claiming. I also know that she didn't. I just know, just like when you're an average Joe, you're a celebrity. You got to be careful of the people you hang around with. Who was it? Was it Chris Brown or Kanye West? I don't remember, but the guy kept going off about how many shoes he had, how many sneakers he had, how many watches he had, and at one point, he woke up one day and a ton of his shit was gone. His friends who he was bragging to stole the shit from him. He thought they were his friends. Could be the same thing with Lizzo. She thought after a year we're like family and we do all this stuff together. Why not do this? Who knows?
Devil's advocate. Well, sometimes, especially in entertainment, and not even just in entertainment, if Lizzo or your boss or someone with power says to do something, you don't want to say no.
Okay, true. It could be that too. But was that the only time they went out with her? Probably not. But they might be using this incident just for a big old payday, maybe to boost up their careers. I don't know. Again, I'm not a fan of Lizzo's. I'm not a fan of hers. I'm also not a fan of hers. I don't know anything about her really, other than certain clips I've seen where, like I said, she acted like a disgusting pig. But apparently, that's okay in this society now. But I don't know. Some things seem plausible, and they also seem like they may not be as bad as the plaintiffs in this lawsuit are making it out to be. I always got a question when there's a celebrity involved. Maybe she did do everything. Maybe she did a crap load more that we're not hearing about yet. But, we'll see.
You don't want to say no. Just adding that element. Here I go twerking on the fence, but look, I'm trying to give you both sides. So she came out with this statement. So there have been mixed reactions, but as I was looking through her comments on social media, one of the comments stood out to me and I wanted to read it because I think it's important, especially with the job that I do. And sometimes I need this reminder. And this comes from it's Miller underscore dark on social media. He responded in the comment section under Lizzo's one of her pictures because a lot of you guys are already in the comment section dragging Lizzo, and we don't know if any of this stuff is true. However, which we will talk about in just a second, there are more allegations coming out, new allegations. So it's Miller says this on in the comment section. Collectively, everyone is being unreal. If someone is named in a lawsuit, it's fully against their interest to say anything publicly because it
True.
had been a couple of days since this news
True.
came out,
True. True.
even to defend themselves. So these
Yes.
quote demands for her to say something within hours of a lawsuit being filed are wild. Just like the plaintiffs.
It's not wild. Everyone feels today that they can order people around more than ever before. This one woman I was fighting with, she wants me to hit her panel, no avatar, and just let her go off on me. She is literally giving me orders to do that, orders to do this, orders to do that. And I'm not doing any of that. I'm done. But it's true, you don't say anything. And a couple of days after, especially the news world, oh, the people have a right to know. They don't have the right to know everything. Do they have the right to know whether she scratched her ass today? No. Do they have a right to know she sneezed today? No. That she picked her nose and flung the booger somewhere? No. There are just some things the people don't have to know. But if she did anything wrong, she's got to face the consequences.
All comments will be handled through a lawyer. And I believe her statement was probably combed through PR and her attorney, her new attorney, I'm sure. And I will get to Marty Singer in a second. So he continues, he says, most of y'all are engaging with bots in the comments. Then there's that. Even if any of this is true, there's something very concerning about the instantaneous shift in perspective on someone you claim to love, in parentheses, that speaks more about us as a society and our deep seated desire to see someone fall or their demise. It's gross. I let me tell you, I don't know often read all the comments, but this one was at the top of the comments and I read it. I was like, wow, wow, because I see it. I see it on social media. I see it in the comment section. People that once loved Lizzo, praised Lizzo, immediately switched gears and they were like, wait a minute.
Because most people like the drama. Most people like to go on witch hunts. And most people like to see someone fall down. They also, I believe, think because this is about Lizzo, something's going on, media attention on it, their tweets might get read out loud. Everybody wants their shot of fame. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's what it is.
I'm keeping an open mind. However, there are new allegations that are coming out. And now a filmmaker, one of the filmmakers that supposedly were supposed to work on a documentary with Lizzo, has broken her silence on social media. So filmmaker Sophia Nali Allison says that she dropped out as a director of Lizzo's documentary in 2019 after facing mistreatment from her. So she posted this on social media, and I just want to read it to you guys. So Sophia posted on social media, she says, sharing this because validating other Black women's experience is deeply important to me. She says, I usually do not comment on anything pop culture related, but in 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after about 2 weeks. I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self centered, and unkind she is. I was not protected and was thrown into a ishy situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you effing can, and I'm also grateful I trusted my gut. I felt gaslit and was deeply hurt, but I've healed. Reading these reports made me realize how dangerous of a situation it was. This kind of abuse of power happens far too often. Much love and support to the dancers.
Okay, I don't know who she is. I don't know if anyone knows who she is. But jumping on the bandwagon could also be a way to boost her career. Let's see if she mentions an upcoming project of hers.
She added, to be clear, since I've spoken out, I've had others privately share their very similar experiences. And
She might be trying to make a documentary about this.
I have also been affirmed by people who witnessed what I went through. Lizzo creates an extremely toxic and hostile working environment and undermines the work, labor, and authority of other Black and Brown women in the process. Now,
And of course, everything is about black and brown women. She's a black and brown woman. So, what the fuck is race being brought into this for? Lizzo's black. One of those women were Hispanic, the other two, if you go look up the story on the NewYorkTimes.com, they're black. I don't know. Look up the story for yourself, read it, and it might help a little bit more with this.
now, notice how the documentary ended up being directed by a cis white man.
Hell no.
She is narcissistic bully and has built her
Cis white man, a naturally born male. I don't like this cis bullshit. Cis woman this, cis guy that. No, 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 no. So her saying that, she's probably not only one of these radical feminists, she's either part of the LGBTQ community or it could be quite possible most of the dancers are part of it. And she wants to do this documentary about what they all went through. I really don't trust people anymore. I don't.
brand off of lies. I was excited to support and protect a Black woman through the documentary process, but quickly learned her image and quote message was a curated facade. I stand with the dancers and anyone who has had similar experiences working with her and her team. These working conditions are not okay.
She stands with them and she's a documentary filmmaker. Will there be a documentary out of this like there was Surviving R. Kelly? I'm not saying R. Kelly didn't do what he did. I'm not getting into that argument right now. No, 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 no. But what I am saying is, from what I've seen, majority of the LGBTQ community, or maybe it's not majority, maybe it's a minority, but a minority of 10 pennies out of 100 pennies, it's still a lot of space taken up on the table instead of one dime. So it's still a lot of them that cause problems, and this could be part of it too.
So here's the thing. when we were talking about the Jonathan Major situation, or when we talk about any celebrity that is caught in a lawsuit or arrest or anything like this, we try to keep an open mind. At least I do, or the our community definitely tries to keep an open mind. But when more and more allegations come out, it makes you start to wonder if there's smoke, there's fire. Rolling Stone just released an expose.
Well, that's how it was with Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein and whatever. Like I said, all these allegations could be 100% true. But they could also be 100% false.
On Jonathan Majors with 40, I think there was like 40 different interviews that they did. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on one right now.
They did 40 interviews. Jesus Christ.
We will rewind back to this video when it comes out, or another magazine outlet. So yesterday, the two of the dancers that filed this lawsuit against Lizzo spoke out in interviews. One of those interviews was with TMZ. Well, now Marty Singer is Lizzo's attorney. So because I've been doing this for so long, when I see certain attorneys, celebrity attorneys speak out or named in an article, I'm like, sounds familiar. Marty Singer has represented, I think, Chris Brown. He's represented Bill Cosby, Charlie Sheen. He's represented John Travolta, Jim Carrey, Ricky Martin. Remember the Ricky Martin situation with the nephew? He's represented Ricky Martin. He's represented Kim Kardashian, Jonah Hill, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Kevin Costner, Tristan Thompson. You remember that. So when the celebrity's in trouble, they go to Marty Singer because he makes those things disappear. So Marty Singer is speaking to TMZ, and now we have this video footage of one of the accusers praising Lizzo, and this is after
that. I have a story that people need to hear because I think they can relate to it, and I think it can help change lives and, do what Lizzo
relate to it and change lives. It sounds like she's definitely part of some kind of documentary or something.
Lizzo's doing. I look up to her so much, and I just want to follow in her footsteps and not only be an amazing dancer, but be an amazing singer and storyteller. I love to write music. I love to sing, and I just want to share that with the Queen Lizzo herself.
According to TMZ, this is one of the women suing Lizzo, claiming that she was done dirty by the singer, actually sang her praises after the alleged incident. She says she
maybe that praising of Lizzo didn't go the right way and she needed to try something else. I don't know. This all just seems fishy to me. Yeah, I do think Lizzo has an attitude and she probably did some things. But from what I'm hearing, the things aren't that bad. Let's wait and see if more people come out.
She was terrorized. So TMZ has obtained a video shot in April of 2023 in which plaintiff Ariana Davis gushes over Lizzo, saying, "It's been so amazing and such a beautiful journey. I look up to her so much. I just want to follow in her footsteps, and I just want to share that with the Queen Lizzo herself." So Lizzo's attorney, Marty Singer, tells TMZ these do not sound like the
April 2023. We are in August 2023. Just started. So July, June, May. 3.5, 4 months ago? Now they're bringing up allegations. I don't like this.
the words of someone who was harassed or discriminated against by someone they described as the Queen. So according to TMZ, they said that Ariana Davis made her comments after the European leg of Lizzo's tour, after season 1 of Watch Out for the Big Girls. All of Davis's allegations involve alleged incidents before she shot this video.
And it could be they thought with being on tour with Lizzo, their careers would have skyrocketed to where they would have superstardom as well, and it's not happening. I think it's very interesting with the Michael Jackson case. A huge monetary lawsuit was brought up by the guy who the family would not hire for a memorial tour, just out and out wouldn't hire him. And that's when he came out and said all this stuff. Now, I'm not saying Michael Jackson was a pedophile. I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying that right there was fishy. The guy was a grown man. He had worked on Michael's tours before. And it could be that was to try to keep his mouth shut. Maybe Michael was doing that just so the guy wouldn't say anything. But the family decided, no, fuck you, we're going in a different direction. And then this lawsuit came out. It just seems fishy.
In an interview for season 2 of the show, in which Davis pitches herself as a singer. So TMZ says that Davis and the other plaintiff, Crystal Williams, appeared on TMZ Live Tuesday and acknowledged that they were fired after Lizzo's team said their dancing was not up to par.
Again, they were fired. So these allegations came out after they were fired. Now people can argue, well, Lizzo's a star, she could have gotten them fired anyway. But the allegations weren't made until after they were fired. Again, it just seems fishy, and this could all be coincidental because Lizzo could be 100% guilty. I don't know. It just seems really, really fishy.
So, in an update to the story, Ariana Davis is explaining the video. In a quote, she says, right up.
Wait a minute. Why does she have to explain her video? Because she knows what was dug up could hurt her fucking case. That was, after as well. I think Kempire just said after the allegations, after the firing. They're not saying too much about Noelle Rodriguez, who apparently quit 2 weeks after she was hired because of what she had seen and what was going on with her. And either that or it was 2 weeks after the two other plaintiffs left or were fired or whatever. I don't know. There's a lot of parts that are missing, and I'm sure they'll come out.
This is explaining the video. In a quote, she says, right up until last minute, I didn't realize how bad it was and how much I was being taken advantage of.
Oh my God. So she was praising Lizzo, saying, Queen Lizzo, I want to be like her and whatever. And she got taken advantage of. What did they do? Tell her this could put her into superstardom? And then at some point she realized, no, this was just to make Lizzo look good. You guys judge for yourself. I think there's something fishy.
I just genuinely wanted to save my job. This video further explains how much I was trying to please Lizzo. Look, as I said before,
And these were after the allegations and after the firing, and you were still trying to please Lizzo? You were gone from her for how long? I think she thought all that shit was going to lead into a bigger career. Maybe she was promised a bigger career. I don't know. You know, I look at American Idol and The Voice. There have been more American Idols on the charts than people from The Voice. And everyone who goes on those shows, they all think they're going to win. They're going to have a gigantic career. Well, look what happened with Bo Bice from The Voice. No, American Idol, I'm sorry. He was good. But I think partway through his first tour, he got sick. I think he got pneumonia. And then that screwed everything up. Konstantin Maroulis, he was on the same time as Bo Bice and Carrie Underwood. Bo Bice, Konstantin Maroulis, and Carrie Underwood were the three big winners. Carrie Underwood was number one. Bo Bice was number two. Konstantin Maroulis was number three. Carrie Underwood has super stardom, super fame, an amazing career. As far as I know, Bo Bice might be on the Idol tour. There's a tour, like there's an 80s tour where there are 80s acts that, they go on tour every year and whatnot. Konstantin Maroulis has been part of that too. But I don't hear them or anyone else coming out and saying, well, I didn't get a big career, so now I'm going to say what happened to me there. No, this chick sounds like she wanted superstardom and didn't get it. Again, everything I'm saying is just my opinion, except where things are facts. Again, check out Kempire. He is really good.
Before, it is hard to determine what is truth and what is not. Will this go further than this lawsuit? I don't know. But in this statement that Lizzo released, it sounds like she wants to fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if this goes away, especially because someone like Marty Singer is involved. Guys, I want to know your reaction to all of this information, Lizzo's statement, this new allegation from the filmmaker, and what is being said in this new video that has been shared by Marty Singer to TMZ. Guys, as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks.
Kempire is so good. Again, it all just seems extremely, extremely fishy.